Okay, so today's topic will be, good evening, everyone. So let's start the class. Nice to see you all after a long time. Uh, so today's topic will be breast interventions. So there has been um, a paradigm shift in the way how breast lesions are diagnosed and treated. So I hope you already know how breast imaging forms a very important part in diagnosing breast lesions. So we radiologists form an important cornerstone in diagnostic breast lesions already. And without ending with diagnosing, there has been a lot of advances in uh, uh, therapeutic and diagnostic interventions over the past 20 years. So today we'll be mainly dealing with the interventional part. So I expect basic understanding of the diagnostic modalities, including ultrasound, mammography, MR, etc. So these three are the most important modalities, and let's see the interventions one by one. So it's going to be a interactive class, so you can ask any doubts. So predominantly we'll be seeing what are the indications, how is it done, and what are the expected complications, and some tips and tricks in doing each of the procedures. Okay, so as you know, image-guided breast biopsy forms the major chunk of the breast interventions that is done both in India and all around the world. So that is the most important procedure. So everyone is expected to know all the nits and tricks of image-guided breast biopsy. And FNAC has become obsolete in the current era. So no one does FNAC of breast lesion unless uh, when it is asked for cyst aspiration or some bloody discharge, where the patient is also not willing for a bigger needle insertion. So then FNAC can be done. So the problem is FNAC has a lot of advantages, like it can be easily done. It can be even done by first year residents. So it has an advantage of easy learning curve, and it can be done anywhere. No need of checking the PTINR, or no need of stopping the anticoagulants, etc. And one important disadvantage is most of the FNACs, around 50 to 60% of the cytology, which even if it is performed image guided, turns out false negative. So that is the main problem, and not all places have on-site cytopathologist. So usually in institutions, so they have a on-site cytopathologist. So we'll take aspirate and give it to them, and at the same time only they will see under the microscope, and they'll confirm whether the sample is adequate or not. So if that is present, at least it makes sense to do FNAC. Otherwise, sending the sample from here and sending to the pathology lab, and the pathologist seeing and doing the report is very difficult to reduce these false negative cases. And other than biopsies and FNACs, we have more advancements. So one is marker clip placement and hookwire localization. So these are localization and detection techniques. And like I said, cyst aspiration. If it is done for cosmetic reasons, or if it is causing pain, it can be done even for benign lesions. And then coming to axillary lymph node FNACs, biopsies, and thermal ablations, which are very well coming up in rest of the body. However, in breast, there are few disadvantages as of now, which we hope might be dealt with in the future. So let's see about image-guided breast biopsy. So why image-guided breast biopsy is needed? Because most of the breast lesions, when it is suspicious, needs tissue diagnosis before further management. Before image-guided breast biopsy, surgical biopsy was the to-go management thing that was being done. but after at the advent of USG mammography, so there has been a drastic change in how breast lesions are biopsied. That is, we radiologists are doing most of the biopsies, especially in Western countries. 80 to 90% are done using image-guided techniques. And what are the advantages? So obviously it is faster and cheaper. So patient need not go to the operation theater. And these techniques, so it is more accurate compared to the blind biopsy that the surgeon does by palpation. And even in open biopsy, it's always easy to miss the malignant part of the lesion because there will be surrounding fibrosis. And if the surgeon is taking a true cut biopsy instead of excision biopsy, then it might turn out to be a false negative. So there is a higher chance of missing the lesion. And no cosmetic deformity. So we just put a small nick and we do the biopsy. And most of the biopsies that we do are benign. So 80% are benign. So why to open up the breast and give a bigger scar? So since 80% are benign, so if it turns out to be benign, we can just reassure the patient that nothing to worry, and you can just do it with a follow-up. And fewer complications. So we'll be seeing in the later slides. And of course, faster recovery. The patient can go during after procedure, like after 15 to 20 minutes, she can leave the hospital. So there are a lot of advantages like we see here. And what are the indications? So indications are predominantly BIRATS 4 and 5, they must undergo tissue diagnosis. And BIRATS 3, whenever the risk is high, like family history of first degree relatives having breast cancer, or personal history of carcinoma or malignancy in the other organs of the body, and patients who are anxious. So patients who doesn't want to wait till 6 months to 1 year to get the follow-up saying that this is benign, nothing to worry. So those patients can also be taken up for image-guided percutaneous biopsies. Okay, so it's mandatory for all non-palpable suspicious lesion. Even if it is palpable, image-guided biopsies are more accurate than unguided biopsies. So whether it is done by the pathologist or surgeon, so there have been multiple research which had concluded that guided biopsies are better than unguided blind biopsies. So, what are the modalities that we can use? First is, of course, the most common and the most easiest modality is ultrasound, and even most beneficial to the patient also, in that it can reduce the radiation exposure. For example, mammo has radiation exposure, and in MR it can reduce the claustrophobia or the time taken for a biopsy. So ultrasound has a lot of benefits. And the selection, however, depends on in which modality the lesion appears very well seen, and which the operator is more confident to the biopsy. So two things are very important. So someone who is doing a lot of stereotactic biopsies, so they might feel they are more confident and they are more expecting to get a positive result when a mammo-guided biopsy is done. If the lesion shows certain characteristics like showing microcalcifications or architectural distortion, so which are like very well appreciated in mammogram. So people who are more confident, they might prefer doing a stereotactic biopsy or digital breast tomosynthesis guided biopsy. So of course, ultrasound is the most common modality used, and it can be very well used in a daycare basis. So, what are the workup that we need to do? First is we need to ask the patient history. So, physically examine the breast and see what is the abnormality, review all the old films and the surgeon notes and everything if she had already visited the surgeon. And while doing this, we have to be on side by side. We have to think of, so what will be the better modality to do the biopsy, and what are the complications that we might expect. Okay, and additional image. So whenever you're not sure, and whenever you think that you need additional imaging, so you must go to additional imaging. There is no harm in doing additional imaging, and decide the type of biopsy. So whether you want to do